we should be all good. And hi, how you guys doing? How is your Tuesday going? How is the first full-fledged week of time is now an hour backwards going for you? My brain is continuing to do the it's later than it actually is sort of deal. But you know it's coming every single year, and yet it's still obnoxiously stupid. And I hate it. But how are you guys? I'm here with probably a little bit too sweet green tea. Because I wanted something with at least a little bit of caffeine, but not too much caffeine, so green tea figured was the ticket, which need more green tea. We're almost out of that, sadly. So, that's a thing. But I hope you guys are doing well. Hope the whole time change business is not messing with you guys. Which, it keeps meaning I'm up earlier than I typically am now. And it's just like, I just look at my watch in loathing when I wake up, and it's just like, nope, I'm going back to bed. No thank you. Because I don't like being awake before 7 o'clock. It's one of those things that I'm just like, this is not conditional. I'm not doing it. Also, alright, cool. Hopefully no one wants anything from me. And we should be fine. But yeah, so beginning of the week, not terribly much to report. Was working on some small things, which the main real update going on is really the whole... I just have a little Ko-fi thing right over here, so it's like, you know, hey, if you want to support the thing, here you have a thing to look at, which I should probably move that over, because I wasn't really looking at it the last time around to realize that needed a little bit more space. Although, I also want to switch out the drop game, because the current drop game is still the Halloween one, which I imagine some people don't mind, but I kind of want to... I want to change it. As you can see, I already changed the Kappa one to the other one. Alright. And I'm apparently being summoned because my parents have terrible timing. Give me a minute. Alright. Must have called me by mistake, apparently. Yay, so I don't have to do things yet. Cool. Alright, let's see. Let's close this. Don't mind my face being here. I'm just fiddling. Ba-da-da-da. I wonder what the red... Oh, so it's like black and white? Interesting. Is that what we're calling retro now? I don't feel like that's retro to me. But that's just my opinion. Alright, let's make sure I have the things. Because you have to set it every time that you're changing the thing. Copy that, and then, let's see, do I have it? Okay, I do have it here, so, let's do that. Alright, and we should be all good here. Cool. Awesome. So that's all set. But yeah, other than the Ko-fi thing right over there, which, as you know from probably other streams, that means if anybody does anything like, you know, leave a tip or, you know, what's the word? Subscribe? I think, yeah, subscribe. Or happen to buy something from the shop, which currently is wallpapers and the pins, the donut pins, which are currently hanging out in there. I'll get a little pop-up here. But other than that, not terribly much. I think, yeah, I updated 1 or 2 emotes. One, the Sock Love emote, to make sure it was a little bit bigger, because it was a wee bit small, so I just tilted it back to, like, straight up. I had wanted it on the side, but it was like, eh. I didn't like how it looked on the side, so I switched it. And then Hexy Puff one, which I'm not sure about the Hexy Puff one. We'll see how it fares. Although, I'm going to change the colors so it fits the rest of them. But yeah, it looks alright for now, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna do a thing and make sure I change it to the color so it matches the rest of them. Anyhow, other than that, nothing to discuss, so name of the game is gonna be me doing a wee bit of chainmail, which, as you can see, I am nearly about halfway on this. Well, actually, no, I'm slightly more than halfway, actually, because I know it's 4 inches. If not slightly more than that, and needs to be about 7.5 to 8, which with 7.5 at 4 inches, definitely more than halfway. So, just gonna work on this, and then we'll see about how many Subsquares I can potentially get done. I'm probably going to do this for maybe, if not an hour and a half, the first 2 hours. Because I want it to at least be even if not majority chainmail time happening for today. So that's a thing. Oops. Nope, don't do it. Also, this is why I tend not to do this after having anything caffeinated. My hands tend to not be as reliable to not get me injured with things. Which is kind of important when you're doing stuff with very, very, very sharp pliers. Although, also, let me double check. I'm also gonna double check I have the color. Bams! Hello! Not bad. Not terribly much. Just got started. What time? Yeah, just got started. But not up to terribly much. Been fiddling with stuff in the background. And I'm double checking a thing, because this is a commission thing and I want to make sure that I have the colors properly. I'm pretty sure I picked up the correct colors. So I picked up more of this purple out of my tray of chainmail rings, but it looks like a different shade of purple and it bothers me. Which is weird. Alright, before yeah. Because I had the color, and it's like, I'm pretty sure I picked up the same color out of my tray, and it's like... But how you're doing? How is your Tuesday so far? Hope all is well. Also, I have green tea. Alright, let's see. I finished my first cast on. Nice! Yay! So you know what you need to do for the second one, or at least you know you have an idea of what it'll need to be. in order to fit you properly, which is very good. So I'm attempting to keep you occupied while I work finishing. Aww. Sorry, the small human is homesick. Nope, don't want to delete that. I know you managed to get the pieces that you wanted together, if last I recall is correct, so I'm guessing it's just sewing everything together at this point. Okay, that's not coming up the way it's supposed to, and I know we discussed that in there. At the lining outer shell, I have to attach them and put in a... Okay. Probably a zipper. The blue next to the... Okay, so that's the lighter one. Alright, so that's what it is. So let me put this down here and then grab the thing. Oh yeah, also general update thing. As you guys can see, sub points have dropped back down to what we normally hang out as. Because, you know, the gift subs from Friday Wings have, I guess, expired? But you know, it happens. Such things exist. Alright. Alright. A paint tracer. Yeah. I thought about it. I like the aesthetic. Also, it works very well for me. So, yeah. I think I pulled the wrong purple, I suspect. I think I might have pulled the wrong purple. Which means, let me separate these. I need the lighter shade of purple. And these are kind of close. Yeah, I thought I did. Because these are two very similar, which, let me pull out this thing here. And I want to double check before I did a thing. And this is the one I wanted. And I think I pulled some of this, but I'm not entirely sure. But I just want to separate the colors and see. What I had at first was already in there, but it's just I needed some more, so I just plucked it in there. So, I noticed a difference in color, so I was very confused and annoyed. So, where do you, most of my stuff I have from the Ring Lord Canadian place, which they have USPS shipping, so works out pretty well for me. Not expensive. But, you know, most of the stuff that I have in this bin, I got gifted by Freckled Fiberworks. Goes by Liz. Hangs out here sometimes. But currently is away on work-related things. But she gifted me that stuff. I got these pliers myself. Because I needed an upgrade because I kept slipping with the other ones. Which I still do slip with these. Oh, yeah, she's been busy with work stuff, but she should be back permanently after this last vacation. Not vacation. I say that like it's fun. After this last work trip. Which I can honestly not wait for. Because I do enjoy hanging out with her streams. Especially since, you know, she's on during the weekends. Okay. Okay, no. I think I was fine. I think. Yeah, these all look like the same color, so we're cool. I think it's just a couple of these look a little bit rare, so these might have been from a different thing. So I'll just leave those out for now. But yeah, we're fine. I just like to double check things like that. Because this is honestly a slight annoyance to take apart, so I like to be sure. Alright. So now we have that all settled. We are cool. So get this started. And on the annoying side, I'm gonna need to probably buy more of this black. Because I think once I'm done with this, I'm gonna be pretty low on black. Which is annoying. Because I use these same rings for my stitch markers that I have. So I like to not be out of colors. Although I'm not sure if they'll have any in stock currently. Well, I'll have to check the online store. I tend to buy like a few times a year in case I need, like, you know, a certain size ring or a couple of colors. Come on. There it is. Alright. Do. I probably could have honestly done some spinning today, but I didn't feel like it. I might see about doing some of that later, maybe. Although I also kind of want to play around with some art stuff later, so we'll see what happens. There's a thing or two. Too many. Yep. That is a thing. I don't have terribly that many. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if I did either one. I'll just see what happens. No pressure if I don't do one or the other today. But I was going through a Art of Drawing course book. A thing that Liz also gave me. Same time she gave me the chainmail stuff. So I kind of want to play around with techniques out of there. Because it's giving me some ideas to do with stuff and things. So, yeah. We will see. Also, yeah, that didn't close. Whee. Also, was talking with a friend of mine. Who recently got married. Which, they're both friends of mine. And it was like I couldn't get to be over there because it required going across the country, which, given the whole, people are untrustworthy during this plague thing, I unfortunately couldn't do so. So I was like, hey, here's a thing, which I bought the, it was one of those things on their wedding registry. That thing being a pasta rack thing. So it was like, if you're gonna make homemade pasta, you would have that to dry your pasta on. Which, they very much appreciate it. And it was like just the least I could do since I couldn't, you know, show up to the thing, which I really wanted to. Because I've known them for years, like quite some time. I'm very sad I couldn't have made it to the thing. But such is life. Also, it feels a little dark over here. Why? Who told you this was okay? There. Alright. I'm gonna go grab... I don't have any that much in the way of, like, art books and stuff. Like, that is, like, legitimately my only art book, personally. The only other book I had was, like, art history when I was doing, like, history of fine arts and stuff. Alright, is this thing even that bright? I don't think so. Okay, that's actually a little bit brighter than I thought it would be. Estate, yeah, that makes sense. Brighten up, yeah. Because I forgot I had this clip light, considering the other one is currently not doing its job. So I'm gonna need another LED lamp. Which is unfortunate. But for now I can manage. Alright, let's make sure. Yeah, next row. But also, I'm very much glad that you happen to get the hang of the socks very easily so far. Also, I'm curious, what did you do for the heel? I'm presuming it must have been like the usual... an LED strip and a movable light with an LED bulb. Yeah, the LED bulbs are very much kinder and more akin to sunlight. Even though, yes, we do have light bulbs that are, you know, along the same look as, you know, sunlight. Yeah, I figured you were going cuff down because that's usually how you go with a sock. Like, especially when you're starting out, it's usually heel flap, heel turn, and then gusset. That's typically how I knit most of my socks. So that makes sense. Which at first, I used to honestly loathe it, but it's like, having to do it for Sock Madness a couple of times in a row kind of just was just like, I can deal with this now and not absolutely loathe it. It's like, it's not that bad anymore when you have to speed do it for an entire pair of socks. Which I do enjoy the socks out of doing Sock Madness, but at the same time, it's like every year, it's like, at least the past 2 years I've done it, it's like, what, whoops. What the hell did I get myself into? My stash and has, ooh, nice. It's always good to have some patterns you can always, like, alter and do some changes and, you know, tailor it to what you desire specifically. That is always a lovely thing. I have not done knee-highs. It sounds like the first... Oh my gosh. That is a lot! I've not done Sketchtember, but I know of the other two, because I've seen someone do Huevember. And I've done Inktober, like, last... Yeah, no. I only do one monthly thing per year. Because it takes up a lot of bandwidth. You think it's like, it's not that bad. Partitioning out, a daily amount of your time in order to do a thing, especially if, you know, you want to do the thing well, is very much a suck of time and energy. I mean, yes, you improve on a thing, but it's very tiring. Yep, exactly that. Exactly why I limit myself on these things. Alright, cool. I just wish these things didn't take up that much energy from you. Whoops, come on. Which, that is also why I typically do some spinning during Tour de Fleece, but it's never... Yeah, also fair. I like Tour de Fleece, but also it's kind of in that same vein of, like, you have to do the thing on a daily basis, which... At the same time, considering Tour de Fleece is definitely a bit more casual, and it gives you some wiggle room. It allows you for some of that. Because your goal could be like, hey, spin every day, or, you know, spin a certain amount. Fair. Green Fang, hello. Thank you for your host. How are you doing? How is Tuesday? And how are you adjusting to it being an hour earlier? Oh well. Spin for 50 minutes a day. I got half, and then a kid decided sleeping was not... Oh no. That is not helpful. Not helpful at all. But breaking up into small intervals is usually the best way to do it if you're gonna do it. I unfortunately have, as I am wont to do, every single year. And it sucks. So I'm like, no worries, enjoy your lurk. Good luck with the sewing. And also, why are we doing this? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Alright, let's get this thing to go through again. That's better. Have any plans for today, Green Fang? Although, wait. Are you behind me or in about the same time zone as me? I forget off the top of my head right now. I want to make sure I'm not saying the incorrect area. Caledon! Hi. How you doing? How goes your Tuesday? I had some green tea, so might be babbling a mile a minute at some points in time today. But hope you're doing well. And what are you up to today so far? There we go. Why are you being like this? I just need you to go through the thing, and we'll all be cool. Fucking... Why? Why? Try not to grab too hard, because I don't want to scratch these too much, if at all. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Fiddling with some code. Okay. For anything important, or is this just experimentation of some kind? Okay, and I think I finished this tea. Yeah, so it's water for the rest of the day. Okay, that's what I was wondering, if it was for that or for something else. Okay. I hope that's successful. Okay, I'm glad that did not ping off into nowhere. Because that would have sucked. 2 different code bases. Oh. Arduino and CC... Well, I was about to say CC plus instead of C++. I can read. Are those 2 codes similar, or are they vastly different from each other? Okay, where? There it is. Nope, that's a little too... That's better. Python. Yeah. I am not well versed in this manner of stuff and things. Like, that is definitely a area I am very uninformed about. Alright, so let's see. Also, are these different from here? They don't look vastly different, but I do want to make sure those are fine. Boards is meant to handle low-level information sensors. As yours. Okay. Okay, yeah, that I definitely know about Python being a thing used on PC for a plethora of things. That little I know. Alright. Come on. Where are you going? You could have done that earlier. Don't mind me. And your brother is choosing the time to do something that is going to require my assistance that he could have done an hour ago. But did he? No, he did not. Which mildly annoys me. But there are worse things. And it should not take that long to render my assistance. So should be alright. Come on. An excess going native. Huh. Come on. There we go. A dual boat? Can you explain what that is? Because I am not fully sure what that entails. I don't want to presume. Let's see. Gently. Let me... I meant to pick up the red. Oh well, it's fine. As long as it's... Although this looks like, yeah, this is a scratched up one anyway. It's better if I just toss this one. That's the good thing of having anodized aluminum. You can just toss them. Dual means you're capable of running two lessons in the same machine. Ah! Huh. Interesting. Well, so that is a very handy option if you F up on one, or like something goes wrong with one. You can use the other one. And see about fixing the other OS. If possible. Oops. Nope. So these have been slipping out of my grasp a bit today, and I very much do not appreciate it. Alright. That is interesting. Also very handy. Let's open this guy up. Come on. There it is. And... Alright. I do hope to have this finished by sometime this week, maybe. Or if you want to use Linux from tasks and Windows for other uniforms. I'm not an Apple person, so I'm just like, anyway. Because I'm mostly just not fond of the interface of Apple products based on what I've seen. Because it's not highly intuitive. At least compared to Windows, if you're trying to find certain things. But that's just me. Come on. Nope, I need you to go through here. Has been designed to look like... Oh gosh! I haven't downloaded it yet because, you know, given the crashing in some spots, like, you know, causing certain applications to crash. I'm waiting to see if, you know, they have... the update would have a workaround to avoid, or at least combat that issue before I go downloading Windows 11 and, you know, Streamlabs or something crashes during stream. I like to avoid that, so, yeah. I'm just waiting to see what happens and how that goes. I think it's until, like, what, next year? Sometime next year? That downloading it is free anyway, so I see no need to rush. Okay, that's good. Alright, and then... I need to sing. Come on. And there we are. This thing always likes to be finicky with me sometimes. Come on. There it is. Alright. I'll be right back. Just need to check on a quick thing, and I'll be with you guys in a moment. Just gonna start on the be right back screen, so probably shouldn't take me more than like a minute or two. Alrighty, and I am back. Sorry about that. I should hopefully not be interrupted for a bit. So I'm gonna get back to this. Alright, is it this side or the other? No, it's this side. Come on. There we go. And last one for this row. The one good thing about this is given I'm going smaller than the average size for a dragon scale, so this goes slightly quicker than what it would be, which honestly it's not terribly much of a difference. It would literally be one more of each, so like say 4x3 instead of 3x2 in regards to this thing, so not terribly much in difference, but it's enough that it would, especially in longer lengths, definitely save me some time. And what's this? Okay. Not currently important. Alright, cool. There you go. Alright. Sorry, saw a thing in Discord and wanted to make sure it wasn't anything that did not currently warrant my attention. Which it did not. But I prefer to make sure first before I go ignoring things. Oh, so I think I'm gonna possibly do an overhaul of things and stuff at some point. Especially things like panels and such. Not that I hate the panels, but I feel like definitely they could stand a little bit of sprucing up here and there. Also, definitely the header definitely needs a little bit of changing. But those are things I'll probably, like, at least whenever I get the chance to fiddle with offline. And see how that goes. Ba-da-da-da. Okay, where's the seam on you? Oh, there it is. The one thing that's very annoying about these black rings, sometimes it's hard to see where the seam is. Thus, when you want to open one of these, it's like there's sometimes opening in the wrong spot, so it's just like, obviously, you're putting in a lot of effort for essentially nothing. Thankfully, it's not a common occurrence, but it's annoying when it happens. And just a general note for, like, say, anybody buying stuff for, like, holidays and such. Like, say, some holiday gifts and so on and so forth. Feel free to check out either my Etsy shop or my Ko-fi shop, although Ko-fi is definitely more of, like, digital wallpapers and such. Although I do have some donut pins. If that's up anybody's alley. Plus I do eventually mean to get that heart hat pattern on there. Which I had thought about doing a whole thing, setting up these sizes as a whole thing. In the Discord, but I had gotten sidetracked a while back. I need to get back onto that. Do you? Yeah, but I more drink tea rather than I drink coffee nowadays. Given the whole stomach thing, coffee is unfortunately a bit acidic, so coffee is definitely a bit more of a rarity than black tea. Which is unfortunate, because I do like my coffee whenever I get the chance to. But the stomach thing is probably going to be temporary, so I'll probably just have to be gentle about how much coffee I consume. I think I've asked you this. I take my— oh my god, no. Nope. I can't take the bitterness of that. I can't. I don't know how you guys managed to take it black, straight like that. Nope. Although it's probably better for you taking it straight like that. But I'm very much— I need sugar, I need either creamer or milk. I can handle having milk instead of creamer in there, that's fine. But I need one or the other in order to make it, for me, palatable enough. There we go. I can speak and say words. Alright. I know it's probably a wee bit past the hour mark, but given the whole I had to get up for like a minute or two, I'm just doing a quick extra row or two. And then I'm gonna go take my break. Especially with doing stuff like this, I also need to stretch my hands. Because after a while, my hands tend to get very, very irritated at me for doing this. A cup of Earl Grey. Ooh, Earl Grey's lovely. I actually have some Earl Grey hanging up here. That's what this thing is. I think you've seen it, but yeah. I bought this lovely tin of tea. Which I have this every once in a while. It's really nice. Which I suspect I am likely going to get gifted some tea for Christmas, which I am not opposed to because tea is my jam. Alright, careful. Oops, don't do that. There it is. But yeah, definitely Earl Grey is a bit more refined of a tea. So I don't argue there. Although there's usually sometimes they have Earl Grey mixed with jasmine. Which I have personally not tried. Either jasmine or lavender. One of those two. Although I tend to not really like lavender or anything. But that's mainly because, you know, the aerosol sprays tend to be a bit heavy-handed on the scent of lavender. To the point I can't stand it. So I tend to not really deal with it. Naturally scented, lavender is a nice scent. Synthetically speaking, I absolutely can't stand it. One well-known drinker of Earl Grey is the most English Frenchman. And who is that? Also, let me put this on here. And I see my hands shaking slightly. Thus meaning caffeine has definitely made an appearance. Probably why I'm not being that coordinated right now. Which is fun. Also, where's my tape measure? Let's see how close am I to 5. Oh, 5, where though? Oh, there it is. Tape measure here. Which is why I like, especially when I have stuff I need to get done. Oh, okay. We're 5 nearly... Well, actually, no, that's a little too... like here-ish. So, oh, I'm pretty close to 6 inches already. Cool. So, definitely farther along than I thought I would be, which is very good. Very, very good. Alright, I'm gonna go take my break. I'll be back in about the usual 10 minutes. Definitely get up and stretch, hydrate, so on and so forth. If you need to, and totally feel free to play the Plinko. I'll just have to be on the wary for that. But yeah, I'm back again. Hi! Welcome everybody. Anybody who popped in during the break, hello, hi. Hope you're doing well. Hope time adjustment is not kicking you in the ass. And I hope you're having a pleasant Tuesday. Here doing some chainmail. A lot farther than I thought I was. Which is very much a good thing. Because I'm gonna have to stock up on some black here, I'm suspecting, of these rings. Which I do need to stock up on a couple of colors, but unfortunately that would require getting a payout, which I'm not sure that's gonna happen for this month, because last I checked, I definitely don't think I hit the threshold, which is unfortunate, but luckily it's not an immediate need, unless, you know, someone buys some stitch markers from me and that requires I go buy some black, and then that'll be a different story. But hopefully someone just buys one of my pre-made sets or something. So I have a couple of those hanging out in there. Let's see. Also, I've gotten a couple of these stuck together. Which, that is not a way of me trying to shake you guys down or anything. I'm just stating facts. Because there's a couple things I do want to get. Mostly stream related, but one or two not stream related things. Although arguably my sketchbook, which that's the main thing I kind of would want to get, is something stream related, because I do use it on stream, so from time to time, so technically not stream related. That plus potentially some pastel paper, because I have some oil pastels that have been hanging out here and I'm kind of in the mood to use them, and I'm pretty sure my Canson XL watercolor paper, palette paper is not gonna do the job. So I'm probably gonna need some pastel paper for that. Which, hopefully that should not be too terribly expensive. Alright, so let's see. I'll do a couple of these. And speaking of traditional art things, I probably should do a traditional art stream tomorrow. I haven't done one of those in a while. Unless there's a thing I want to fiddle around with and seeing about doing digitally. Plus, I've noticed the... what's its face? My regular drawing pad is not doing the pen pressure sensitivity thing like it's supposed to. Like, it's not doing it at all, which is very strange. And I've set it so it should be able to do that, but it's not doing so, and I'm not sure what the problem is. It's really strange. I know I have the latest drawing app, and I made sure to update the drivers, so I'm using the latest driver. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is going on with that. It's really, really strange. Like, very, very odd. Also, it kind of looks like I'm sitting here in the dark. Because, like, it's sunlight over there, but over here it gets dark enough that it's, like, makes it look like it's later in the day than it should be. Plus the whole dark at 5 o'clock thing. Does not make this issue any better. I mean, yes, there are worse things. Could be up in Alaska where the midnight sun is a thing, where it's like no dark for, I don't know, it's a couple of months? Your room is, yeah. Because where I am, window right there and a window right over that's to the side, but the light, specifically from the sun, would be coming from this direction here, so it's a weird thing. It's all a matter of more so how I sit in relation to the windows, whether or not I will get a good amount of quality sunlight for this. So it's always one of those, I have to play it by ear things. Which, again, could be worse. Alright. Let's see. There it is. Also, I really do hope I don't sound like I'm complaining or something. Because like I said, it could easily be a lot worse. It's just lighting is one of those things I sometimes have to think about. Unfortunately, the camera can't do it all. So I have to be on my toes about it. And alright. There it is. Alright. There we go. Although, no, that's not fully. Okay, that's better. That's better. I thought it was closed and it was not quite closed. Which I'm gonna probably have to go look at this once I'm done. I know there's definitely a few that are not closed enough to my liking. If you don't have these properly closed, they could snag on things, which, you know, not something you want. There it is. Oh, I didn't realize I'm like over there, slightly out of frame, so you can't really see it. So I might have to move this camera just a wee bit over, since I'm veering over to the right. Also, I don't really like that that's yellow. I might need to adjust my white balance a little bit to make sure that's alright. Oh yeah, that's gonna make it worse. Whoops. A little bit more sharpness, although I think the focus could go up a little bit. Okay, yeah. face east, so I don't really get a lot of daytime, especially when trees next to my building are... Yeah, thankfully I'm not in the part of the house where it's definitely more tree covered, which that is more to the front of the house. Where there's a giant tree there. So I feel you on that one. But yeah, I really would love if my windows weren't like virtually bookends to each other. Like literally, this is how it is. The window that's back there is right there, and then literally the other one's right next to each other. So it's not like even, you know, a different kind of spacing to it. Like, if I could trade where the bookcase and that window is, I would actually love that. But alas, I cannot. So, such is life. Alright, and... put back a couple of these. Also, how did you get in there? I very much don't want you going that way. A couple of these. Oh, where'd you go? There it is. Also, I didn't see if there was a red one there. Also, I realize I have not mentioned it yet, but just to anyone's notice who hasn't seen it, we do have a community challenge going on for charity streams, which I am thinking is likely going to be middle of next month to give myself some time to get stuff planned. But yeah, me playing a couple of different games on stream. Not, you know, in one day, but, you know, for my regular stream week in order to fund the Linus project for some help their way, because they are a lovely organization, which you can always support them by knitting or, you know, crocheting blankets, sending blanket squares, or sending them financial contributions. But you can specify where they go or generally send them to the organization. And they'll distribute it how they see fit for it to be distributed. Oops. But either way, it's gonna be definitely GeoGuessr considering we've reached that goal. I'm hoping some Hades. I need to double check if that's alright for my laptop. It should be, because I used it, but the only thing was that one time it lagged. But it should be alright in that category. But yeah, GeoGuessr, Hades, Ori and the Blind Forest, which I have not played before either. I had it here. I downloaded it from a Steam sale from probably last year, but I just haven't played it because that game's definitely a bit, at least when downloading, a bit robust. And potentially one or two other games. Not sure which one. Ah, why? Why you slip? Why? But yeah, should be fun. I definitely do hope to earn the charity some money. Yeah, I know Will of the Wisp is the second one. Because that was just coming out. Yeah. That was just coming out at about the time that was the first one went on sale. I have not seen that played. But I've seen bits of the first one, but that was a while ago when I saw Blind Forest played on a stream. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Good. Which, speaking of those games, they kind of remind me of, I think it's Hollow Knight. There we go, Hollow Knight. The art styles feel similar, which I'm presuming those are both made by the same company. That might be why, or at least have like same or similar artist on their production teams. I haven't looked that up, but yeah, they definitely, at least based on what I've seen of both games, they look very similar to me. Do. Although, let's open it up a wee bit more. Okay, I need you to get out of there so I can do the thing. I don't think I have asked them what sort of class they want onto there. I am thinking maybe a large lobster class like I have with mine, or one of the slide ones, although I think I might need a larger, the sliding ones that I have. Although the sliding one kind of annoyed me when I had it on mine. So I don't know. There it is. But yeah, at the current rate I'm going, I definitely should be able to finish this sometime this week. Which, with this commission, there are going to be some socks I get to make once again, so probably, if not later this week, sometime next week, I will be back with socks. I just need to figure out what pattern I'm going to do with those. I have some ideas. I need to figure out a thing or two before I get started there. I have a general idea of what the amount of stitches it'll be. But we'll see. Nothing's set in stone yet. Although, on the one plus side, I am glad I did not have to buy yarn for this. This was yarn I already had in my stash. The blue-violet tonal yarn that I had bought last time I had bought yarn from Knit Picks. So that worked out in my favor. Alright, da-da-da. Really? That's what you're annoying me about email-wise phone? Okay. Normally I put my watch thing on Do Not Disturb, but just in case I get summoned by an adult. An older adult. Just when I have my thing on, so I don't miss it. Even I prefer not to have it on while I'm streaming. It allows me to not having to check my actual phone. Do-do-do-do. Also, Green Fang, have you played either one of those games? I know you said you have it on the Xbox One, but have you played them? Also, speaking of games, is anybody gonna be getting the remastered Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? I personally am not. Well, that's just me, but that's mainly because I've played Diamond on the DS. Which I am not misspeaking, I do mean the DS. Mine still lives. I played nice. And I will definitely play that whenever I do my game thing. I had thought about switching to the Granny Squares before my second break, but I think I'm just gonna continue on with this given... How long do I have? Like 20 minutes? Yeah, 20 minutes till my second break. So I can make sure I get some progress in today. But I need to do that. Metrovania, meaning that it might involve a bit of backtracking. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard that phrase, but I wasn't sure what it meant. Again, I've seen a bit of Hollow Knight, which is also of that vein. I wasn't sure what that meant, so at least I know now. Do-do-do-do-do. Also, I'm glad my hands stopped slipping with these rings. It kind of plays like Metroid and Castlevania. I have not played Castlevania. I know of Castlevania thanks to the show. And I know there's like a couple of games. If you've seen gameplay. I think I've seen Metroid, I think. So I think I get what you're alluding to. Also, let me make sure that's good and closed. Okay, that's slightly better. There used to be, there's definitely still a couple, but yeah, I feel like some have definitely gone and done other things, which that is completely fair. This is kind of a thing that's really hard on your hands. So, I understand why people wouldn't stick with it forever. But I do enjoy it, but this is definitely more hobby than, you know, full-time thing for me. But that's mainly because A, you need to buy a lot of ring sizes in order to have a good variety of weaves to be able to get done. Which, I don't have the space for that, also. Yeah, mainly just the part of my hands, and I like to be able to do other things. Craft-wise with my hands, so I'd rather not fuck them up. Pre-made. I know you can, like, if you get a wire and Dremel and all that jazz. You can cut them yourself, which, especially if you're doing something like, say, you know, the chainmail shirts and that sort of thing. It definitely makes sense to be able to make them yourself. Bunch of games, and then there was Bloodstained games where they made to play like the older. Huh. Interesting. That I haven't heard of. Yeah, I know there's like at least a couple Castlevanias hanging out there. Which I do wish I still had Netflix, or else I would have watched the show. Or at least the show that was up and available at that point in time. I think it was up to season 3 at that point in time where I still had it. And by having it, I mean a friend of mine was sharing theirs with me, but they no longer have it, so thus I don't. So, yeah, it happens. Come on, how about I don't do that? Come on. Oh, there it is. I thought it went through the wrong area. Sometimes it likes to do that, and I have to adjust it to get it to come through this top point. Yeah, I figured it wasn't gonna be, you know, one-on-one, because it almost never is when it comes to doing adaptations of things. Like, it's more in line with the books than the... Yeah. I haven't read the books. I did enjoy what I saw of season 1. It was interesting. And there is much hype for season 2, although apparently... I don't believe so, but you're totally free to discuss that. What did you get? Because I don't recall off the top of my head, and I'm usually good for stuff like that. Also, let me drink some water. And there are apparently... Oh, you said what game? My eyes didn't really focus on the word game, apparently. Pioneers of Olive Town. I'm gonna require Google. Because I don't know that off the top of my head. Luckily, I can just copy it and undo the thing. Story of Seasons. Blah, blah, blah. Now you've taken over his farm. Okay, it kind of sounds like Stardew to a degree. Oh wait, I think I see this. I think I've seen this. This was on sale at some point earlier in the year. Cultivate, blah, blah, farm. New adventures off the beaten path. But that looks like fun. Story, yeah, I was like, that part definitely sparks memory, so I probably have seen it at some point. Where? Is it this side? Yeah, this side. Chicken name. Reginald. Angus. Oh my gosh. The barn. Oh my god, no. That still amuses me, but at the same time, oh man. Alright, I'm gonna do that and then go back to... Indeed. Yes. Indeed. Oh gosh. It's like, oh man, why? But at the same time, you can't help but laugh. It's just like... you know how wrong it is, but given it's a game, they're not gonna go to, you know, end up being someone's burger or steak. So it's fine. Basically a spiritual successor of Hal Orgy's Harvest Moon's game from the N64 and the GameCube. Ah, okay. That I've definitely heard of because some people have mentioned, like, it's... What's his name? Stardew Valley is kind of like, you know, Harvest Moon plus another game, kind of how it plays together. I forget what the other game is on the top of my head, but yeah. Familiar. Let's see. I have a feeling it's probably gonna be like one or two more repeats of this, and then I'll probably take my second break. Which, that happened quickly. I didn't realize I was that close. But, yeah, another 12 minutes, give or take. We'll be due to have some stretch time. Do. Come on. There it is. Oh, so I should probably get something to snack on. Did I eat lunch? No, I did not. Oops. That was my bad. I had tea and then I forgot I should eat something. Oops. That's why I usually try to have food at the same time I have something like tea or coffee. Or else I'll forget that food should be eaten. Oh well. Let's see. Come back through. Come on. There it is. Nope. Come on. You can do it. I very much need you to do it, so please cooperate. I very much try not to... Nope, other side. Will you please do the thing? Salted... Ooh. Butter tart from lunch. I'm still a bit thirsty. Coke, safe. Ooh, vanilla Coke is lovely. Actually, wait, yeah. I was thinking vanilla Pepsi, but vanilla Coke is also very nice too. I've had them both on separate occasions. So, I'm definitely good for vanilla flavored soda in general. But that sounds like a very good lunch. Although I didn't realize they have. It's hard to... Really? Huh. I did not realize that was a thing, although given everything is like, hey, there's a shortage due to the supply chain thing and stuff. That is also not a shock. At one point they were running out of aluminum for, you know, cans for soda and that sort of thing. I'm not sure if that's still the case. I don't believe it to be so, but... But that is a thing I heard. And some reason tends to put out... Huh. I wonder why. Come on. Yeah, I should definitely be at least at about 6 inches now. And... Oh no, I still have some time, so I can at least pull off another row of this. There it is. Come on. The only real birch beer is even harder to... I know that name. I think they make root beer too. Unless you're talking about the root beer. Then I know what you're talking about. Once I haven't seen in a while is a nice bottle of ramen. I don't know that one. At least not off the top of my head. I have not seen that one. Is that more of a local thing, or is that a large brand? By the way, definitely something I don't think I've personally had. Ever. Okay. Also, I apparently had a ring underneath this thing. Cool. I very much don't want you under there. Root beer are different. Okay. Then that I might be familiar with, maybe. Japanese. Ah! That's why I was like, that name looks interesting. Ramen in glass balls with the marble. That is cool. It's one of those things I always like when it comes to design and packaging. And wrong side. Ever? No, I have some friends over in PA, but I've personally not have been there. I eventually do want to visit them. I mean, I literally pass by PA every time we go to Florida. Birch beers, ah! Okay, then I probably do know what you're just talking about. I will probably poke my friend and ask them about them later. Because They're at work right now, so I'm not gonna bother them about that. But I'm pretty certain that they happen to have that particular beverage. Or I could just Google it during the break, which is also an option. Alright. Yay! I was right about where the seam was. Cool. There. Those two, and then probably... Yep. No, actually I could probably get away with one more row. Just one. I thought I was taking too long, but I should at least still have enough time to get one more of these rows done. And then I'll see how far I've gotten in these past 2 hours. Which I should be at just about, if not a little bit past 6 inches now. Which is a very, very good place for me to be. And just to know anybody wondering, I do take commissions on stuff like this. But if you're interested, totally feel free to poke me in Discord or... Well, actually, no, not here. I don't have Whispers open here. I would have to message you first for that. Because trolls be stupid. Let's see. Alright, and... Come on. Also, if you're the crafty side of things and curious about chainmail stuff and things, I do have some chainmail stitch markers in my Etsy shop, which I believe if you do !follow, the link tree should show up and then you'll be able to get to my Etsy page. That or the bot will eventually, sooner or later, will spit out the link tree thing. One or the other. Because sometimes the bot has humorous timing and spits out a thing when I'm talking about the thing, which is very helpful. Alright, and where is the thing? There it is. I had it finally. Nope. There. I missed where that split was. But you can usually tell that by when it resists way too much. Anodized aluminum does not resist terribly much. Once you get used to opening and closing said rings. There it is. And 3. Man, it's a good thing I filled both of these areas there. Or else I would have not had enough rings for these 2 hours. Really? Who told you that trying to slip off here was okay? Kinda busy. Okay, come on. There it is. let's get this on here. Although I don't feel like that middle one is closed enough. So I'm gonna try that again. There it is. Yeah, it was too close for a second. And yeah, that's not quite closed. Let's try that again. Okay, that's better. I'll probably fiddle with that again for a third time later. And then... Alright. There it is. Alright, so let me just measure how far this is, and then I will go take my second break because I'm pretty sure I'm past 2 hours. Yep. About 3 minutes. Like I thought. I'm gonna end up being. Alright. Alright, so that puts me near 6.5. I'm not counting that ring because it's a little too floppy. I'm definitely not past it, but definitely getting close to about 6.5, which is good. Yay, I've made progress. Much progress that this thing's not gonna fit straight on in here now. But yeah, I'm gonna go take my second break. I will be back in about 10 minutes as usual. I need to stretch my hands so you don't hate me. I'm gonna come back and work on some granny squares because I need to get those done. So I'll be back. Definitely feel free to gap and stretch if you've been crafting with me these entire 2 hours. So that's the game plan for the last about 45 minutes. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I was hoping it was not going to still be dark. But alas. Alright, let's see. But yeah, I think that's why I tend to not use this light, just because, at least on stream, because it's a bit yellow. Which is not something I really want. Also, let me get my sub book to make sure. I know Girl November wants a light blue. So definitely gonna take that one and be done here. Which I'm still behind. I don't think I've made any since the last time I was working on these on stream. Which stream really does hold me to get accountable to these sorts of things, so that's why I like to do it on stream every so often and give myself a kick in the pants to actually do the thing. Not that I wouldn't get anything done if I didn't stream, but definitely it'd be a little bit more difficult, arguably. Kinda, sorta, maybe. So I'm still slowly but surely filling in the what's the other one? The follower emote thing. Which, as you can currently see, we're about up to 3. And I have a 4th one I was sketching this morning. Nothing too complicated, but definitely want to make sure they're in the same color vein as the rest of my emotes for the most part. Come on. Do. Well, yeah. Come on. There we go. Sorry. Tiny bit hyper-focused right now on this. So, I am not as chatty. That is likely why. Although I'm probably going to be able to get 2 or 3 of these done in this time frame, so that'll at least be a little bit of a dent in the amount I need to get done. Whoops. Yeah, I did. That was my fault. There we go. There it is. Oh, okay, I didn't do that over there. Cool. I thought I did the thing wrong for a second, which would have been very irritating. So I've not been watching terribly much of anything the past couple of days. Really. Been definitely more reading, because my 2 months of Kindle Unlimited for free are almost up in like 3 weeks. So I kind of, well, no, less than 3 weeks, because it's like the 20-something. It's already the 9th, so I have about 2 more books of this 5-book series to get through. And then, of course, there's this book on illustration that I bought digitally a while ago that I do want to actually continue getting into. I bought that a while ago thinking I would go through it, and it's like, nope, I've not touched it in a while, so I kind of want to get back into that book as well. Plus, you know, read some Agatha Christie and or the Sherlock Holmes volumes, because there's 2 volumes. I read the first one in high school a while ago. I never got through the entirety of the second, which was a shame. But, you know. I got the digital copies of both of those volumes, so I do want to get those onto my tablet because my old Kindle, the one with the little keyboard on there, it's a little bit too small. I have to zoom in and everything, so I think it'd probably be best if I get it on my tablet so I can actually read that better. Oh, did I not pick up my scissors? I remember looking at them earlier. Yeah, I need my little scissors. Yeah, there it is. I just didn't pick them up. So I can cut the ends of those. I swear, no matter how many times I do this, like 90% of the time I will forget that I require scissors in order to cut the yarn. You would think I'd learned by now, but I do not, alas. But at least I know where my scissors were, so that wasn't too much of an issue. And although I would like to know where the heck the second one of those. My island tune is Moonlight Densetsu. Densetsu sounds Japanese. Also, is that like a lullaby or something? Which, if that's so, that sounds very pretty. First Japanese opening. Ah! I presume you mean to Destiny. Ah, okay. Moonlight Destiny. That definitely makes sense in Sailor Moon context. Which... do you mean the Crystal or the original 90s anime? Well, rather, if it's Japanese opening, more than likely it's probably going to be the version that happened before it got over here and got dubbed in America. Original 90s. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't think I've heard that version because I haven't seen Sailor Moon subbed. Although, there is a watch through thing going on in a Discord I'm in where they're doing Sailor Moon on once or twice, which they're almost at the end of Sailor Moon R. Yeah, it's gonna be the movie next week. Although they're starting from the beginning, so when it was dubbed in 9, they took the melody from the... but it changed most of the... yeah, I've noticed that. I guess they didn't want to make it look like completely like, you know, they copied and pasted it. Also, you get up here. Also, girl, remember, if you happen to watch this or are lurking, one or the other, Here's your Subsquare. I very much appreciate your free sub. And hopefully you're having a good rest of your Tuesday. Alright, so that's one square done. Alright. Did I pick a pen to note that off? No, I didn't. But I see pen right there. So I can check that off. That's one done. There's a couple with this blue, so I might get one or two of these done. Where are they? Blue and silver. Alright. Although you might not be able to tell with the current lighting, but it does have like bits of like blue, no, silver yarn in there. Which I think there's like some Karen baby sport yarn. They did that for all series of the dubbed under both DC and Cloverway. DIC. That makes sense. Definitely to make sure they distinguish themselves. Or could have been part of the agreement to not, you know, just copy pasta everything. Which in the American version they had the whole Sailor Moon says at the end of the episodes early on. Which gave little morality tidbits and all that. I got reminded of the other day and I'm just like, oh my gosh. The 90s. I mean, yes, they arguably do that sort of stuff in children's show now. But it definitely was... That was... Yeah. I'd completely forgotten until someone mentioned it. I was just like, oh god. And kind of does a little recap of everything to give you a moral lesson for the day. Those were the days. Which, I don't think they dubbed Sailor songs. Sonic says, and Wheel of Morality, turn. That latter one, I don't think I've ever seen. I've heard... yeah, Keldar said that, but I am not familiar with that one. But I know there's like a book series, but also, there was a Sonic says? I don't remember that at all. Although I don't think I watched Sonic as much as I did Sailor Moon. Because Sonic was like, I think Fox, if not CBS, but probably Fox. When it came to weekly TV shows. Come on. Because it's not pulling through, so yeah, I got caught on something. Why? This is a little thin. One of these times I probably would have had to gone down to the G. Cringy song. A Sonic. Huh. Okay. Yeah, definitely don't remember that, but... Definitely would not be shocked if I seen it and my brain just decided it was not worth remembering. Come on. It's called because it was on Saturday mornings. Yeah, I figured that was what that was called for. But at least they were blatant and to the point about it. But yeah, this stuff is a little bit loose. I might get another yarn for a third one. Or at least change to a different hook size. Next one of these. I think this is more like a DK weight. Which is why it feels like this in my hands. Let's cancel after one season on a cliffhanger. Oh no. That's how you know you've tanked. If you get canceled on a cliffhanger during your first season. Yikes. That or, you know, the toys aren't selling. Usually one or the other. Especially when it comes to children's show. Or a combination of the two. Oh, speaking of said link tree that I was mentioning earlier, there it goes. Come on. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to switch to G-hook if I use this yarn again. Do. The stories were kind of more dark and mature audience. There's a stark contrast to the happy go. Ah, okay. Huh. But yeah, that could also explain why it might have not made its way over here. But I'm surprised it even got greenlit in the first place. Although, being the dark, edgier one that stands out in contrast to all the other shows, probably would have been seen as, you know, a good thing in hindsight? So I get why. But sometimes things like that can work against you in the same respect as well. Oops, no, that is not a half double. I'm doing double crochets. Let's try that again. Also, yeah, this is definitely a wee bit tiny. So next time I might have to go with the G. That or just be very loose with this H hook. But what about the Wheel of Morality one? That I'm not really familiar with. Other than the fact that, again, it existed as a, or exists as a book series. Although, watch, again, it's something I've seen, but again, Memory Banks decided that retaining it was a bad idea. For one reason or another. Come on. Come on. Yeah, that would explain it. I remember the Animaniacs, but that wasn't clicking as much. Don't know why. Which, they have the thing on Hulu, the Animaniacs now, which I have not seen yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go watch it at some point, maybe not. Who knows? Okay, then I was probably mixing the book series with something else. Or they may have put that as a reference to that book series, so who knows? One or the other. Come on. You can go through. There it is. And do the thing. There it is. All right. Zion Solaris, hopefully you enjoyed your Subsquare if you happen to be lurking around here, which, hold on, let's compare. Alright, it's not that off in size. I'm using the H hook, but given it's slightly less dense, I'm more than likely gonna have to, like, use both ends of this and crochet a square next time, because that feels a little bit loose to my liking. Alright. That's one more square. Done on the to-do list. Alright, let me double check. Is it... Ah, okay. Yeah, I figured it would be something along those lines. Let's see. How many of these do I need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or rather, that definitely should be 6 then. I missed counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to note these as random, considering 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, I definitely did that one. I remember doing that on stream, so that should definitely be checked off. These two have not, well, these three have not given me colors. That's gonna be a long thing. I really do need to catch up on these. God damn it. Yep. Alright, so let's see. That. I'd probably get neon, but I'm definitely running short of neon soon. Probably grab black, maybe. Black or purple. Yeah, I'll just grab purple. Alright, so let's do this last one. It won't take too long. Do. I'll probably have to take, let's see if I don't have any time during the weekdays this week. Probably gonna have to take, I'd wait or Sunday and work on some of these squares. I'm trying not to get them to pile up too much. Although I should definitely double count to make sure that I'm not accidentally adding things I've already done. Because that is entirely possible. Come on. There it is. Although, honestly, with the Animaniacs, getting back to that, sorry about that, I feel like they didn't really have, like, you know, a general plot. It was more like in lieu of, say, what's its face? Classic Looney Tunes, in where, you know, they had like a plethora of skits, really, during each episode. Although, was that, or am I thinking of Tiny Toons? We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. It's Tiny Toon adventures are about to start. I remember one time that popped up late at night in some channel, and I was just like, what? Like a nostalgia punch in the face. And I think this is at least a decade ago now. I don't think they're even showing reruns on TV at this point, to my knowledge. Nope, don't do that. Come on. There it goes. I thought the hook almost got stuck for a second. That would have been irritating. Alright, so almost our second round. Definitely should be able to, yeah, definitely should be able to get through this square with some time to spare. But probably not enough time to do a fourth one. Oop. It'd be great if you would stop falling off the edge of this thing. Like, that would be really great. Do 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 do. Alright, let's see how I feel about this. Nope, don't do it. Almost went in the completely wrong area, and that would have not been fun for me. I swear, if I ever, like, got a huge amount of subs, like a ridiculous amount, I would probably get inundated with Subsquares. I wouldn't know what to do. That's one of those things where I'm just like, depending on how things are, I might have to change what I do, just because in larger numbers, if it ever gets to that, that sort of thing is a bit overwhelming. Which, that's something that's just on my mind at times. And I'll just have to see if I do change, which I suspect I might, what I would change to, like maybe just write down people's names and whatever. Which I already do in the sub book, so it honestly wouldn't change terribly much. Nope. Don't do that. Why? I have to make sure once I'm done with this to wrap the yarn around the outside of this cake, or else it'll start being a pain once I put it back. Yep, definitely gonna have a couple minutes to spare at this rate. Come on, there it is. Okay, I thought I put that stitch on the wrong place, but I was wrong. Come on, there it is. And alright, and we are almost there. Okay, there we go. And alright, also I apparently clicked over here, thus making OBS disappear for a second, which is fun. I like not being able to see what the hell I'm doing on camera. That's helpful. Around this yarn on the outside here. This is just so to prevent this from like falling apart. Which I still have some yarn in that basket to untangle. So I don't know when the heck that will be. But hopefully that'll happen at some point. Let's get that over here. Yep. Alright, let's see. There we go. Hopefully you enjoyed our Subsquare. I swear. I really do hope I'm not double knitting squares. That would be an annoyance for me. Alright. Alright, so we got 3 squares done in about just under 45 minutes, which that is very much helpful. So 3 less squares for me to do. I think I'm gonna go with the rest of them in that queen size plastic thing. We have about 2 minutes left, so I'm probably gonna go to the face cam. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go host anybody. We'll see. Okay, up here it looks fine. It's just down here where it looks dark. Not fond of it. Cannot wait to get a new lamp. Alright, do I want to host somebody, or am I just gonna end the stream once I'm done also? The hell? Although, arguably there was actually a couple of people on, but I'm just like... don't feel like I have the bandwidth right now. Oh wow, yeah, there's definitely a bunch of people on. But yeah, I don't feel like I have the bandwidth. So, yeah. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I did the chainmail earlier. Which, probably not going to do any more of that today, given how much we got done. Also, why the heck? That's really bugging me right now. Because the gold button says there's still 13 subs. Oh, now it says 7 when I press the button. Okay, then I had to press the button to get that to do that. Okay. You're weird. That's really weird. Like, if the bar update, the button should update. Twitch, why are you like this? But yeah, anyway. Very much appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I did the chainmail and a couple of Subsquares. Green Fang, if you're still here, thank you again for your host. And I believe that's about it for today and things that happened. So I think I am just going to head off for today, and I will hopefully see you guys again tomorrow. I'm going to probably art, my traditional art. We'll see how I feel, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye! Do, 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 do.